now we go switch to our guest, Miguel Guerra. Um,
Hey.
oh, oh, Miguel, thank you for being on Lip Service and being on episode number 10. Woohoo!
My pleasure, my pleasure. And
Yeah.
it's very interesting that you're talking about listening to you talk about all that corporate stuff.
Oh
Basically,
yeah.
that's what our comic centers around, which is basically
Okay.
the idea came to me was when my brother was diagnosed with cancer and he was uninsured,
Mhm.
and there was this image that burned in my brain because something sort of reacted differently to me. And
Uh
I
huh.
had grown up on a lot of this altruism. And there's nothing wrong with it, but there's an
Mhm.
image of a superhero on a ledge hanging
Okay.
over the person who's hanging off this burning building, and they're haggling
Okay.
for the person's life.
Ooh.
And it kind of basically saying, okay, well, we got these sort of packages. So
Mhm.
super corporate heroes was born out of that moment. And basically it was born out of if superheroes were real, they would
Mhm.
work for a living because it's a skill. And
Right.
two, it eventually would pool into this gigantic megalith type company, which is like Microsoft. So they would basically monopolize everything. And
Just like Diamond.
oh well, yeah, don't get me started.
Okay.
uh, and essentially,
Yes, we're militants.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I agree with a lot of what you're saying because
Yeah.
I've known plenty of creators that have had their own experiences with it, and yes,
Right.
they do serve that. But essentially, the comic book sort of was born right into that,
Okay.
and eventually it sort of also includes the point of insurance. You have to buy rescue insurance from them. So if you don't have
Oh,
insurance, you can't
you
get
don't get.
saved unless you pay out of pocket at the
Fuck
spot,
it.
or you just
Ooh.
die. And
Oh
on top
wow.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's illegal to save someone for free. So they've worked it around, so you have
Right.
to pay. And it very much
Okay.
mirrors our world. And
Yeah.
and interestingly enough, that same year, there was the stock crash of 2008, and out of
Okay.
that was born, believe it or not, there's a villain in this. And it's this Machiavellian type supervillain that controls the Wall Street and the markets and directs the
Mhm.
nation, and his name's the Invisible Hand. And
Oh.
it's very much um, to me. We wanted to create something that was very realistic in the sense of finance. So we even
Okay.
were drawing from Adam Smith, and
Mhm.
but funny, at the same time. So
Well, right now, with what you're saying, it's kind of creepy me out because I mean it hits all too close to home, especially about the premise of the rescue insurance. Because I remember seeing a couple of articles on Yahoo
right,
where people where people didn't pay taxes or they were delinquent and something happened to their home or whatever, the fire department would came and just simply just sat back and watched the
yep,
house burn.
yes, actually,
And
and if this is something that many people don't know, but there was a point in this country that you had to have a plaque outside of your house for the fire department because you used to have to pay individual insurance for it.
hmm
And Tennessee, parts of Tennessee still run on that. They don't have a plaque, but the gentleman didn't pay his insurance, and it was like straight out of the early 1900s.
right,
So there you
yeah.
go.
There you go. So with these superheroes
Right.
now are they? I mean, obviously they're the darker version of Heroes for Hire. Where if you don't pay, you're just pretty much SOL.
Yeah,
Now,
it's very complex too because we take the celebrity nature of it.
mhm,
Because we we're chuckling about it, but someone like a Superman would be a higher pay grade than a Batman. Because Superman could stop an asteroid and make millions of dollars in one pop, whereas a
mhm,
Batman is going to have to really work hard for that. And we also broke down the skill set. And if you don't have superpowers, but you want to be a crime fighter, there's only so far you can go within the company. So we broke it down structurally, but the
Uh
characters also are in tabloids all the time. You know, the sort of scandalous side of it. You know, like
huh.
our main character, one of our main characters, the American Icon, he's completely always going to strip clubs and getting into trouble. But who's going to stop him? Because he's an invincible man. But to sort of offset that, we also divided the world into two planes, which is the nonprofit age, when things were for free and people just volunteered to do it, and then the
Hmm.
for-profit age. So it
Okay.
transitioned in, and as how it grew, it started to solidify its power politically and so on and so forth. So
Right. Now, now, with this concept, I've got to ask this:
okay,
Do they actually do the superheroes have a union?
no,
Ah, that's
no.
interesting.
No, actually, we're going to address that in a very hilarious sort of type way, because having worked for big companies in the past myself, and my
Hmm.
co-writer as well, that is almost like the kiss of death in
Oh,
corporate America to say something like that, and
right.
so we address a lot of issues. Actually, the second issue will be addressing, you know, the women's sort of pay grade versus the men's pay grade, but it, all in good humor, of course. You know, and it's sort of offset the dark nature of it, and not
Right.
to get too
Well,
melodramatic.
it sounds like with corporate superheroes that you are really walking a fine tightrope between being geopolitical and hilarious all at the same time, especially
Right,
in an election year where it is a coming down to where this election, in my opinion, is going to come down to the haves versus the have-nots,
right,
and the haves are steady trying to rabble rouse, literally.
right. Yeah. Oh. Well, the haves going back to FDR. I mean, there's that infamous the business plot, and
Hmm.
one of the things I can let you know about the our villain is that actually in this world he helped initiate the Great Depression, and he's been sort of
Ooh,
trying
to
to
make
hatch his
money.
plan. Yeah, and he's big money.
Oh,
He's the world's only trillionaire. So he's out on a big venture, and this is what
hmm
the plot line sort of follows. And
hmm
each comic you'll follow each of the individual lives of the superheroes,
hmm
but you'll see little by little as to how he's about to unleash his plan, what he's got planned
uh-huh.
for America.
Uh-oh. And with this, I know I'm going into spoiler territory here,
Right.
but with that, will these characters realize they're being played for Game Boys?
Well, they're too busy living their lives.
Oh,
We're
oh, okay.
they're each one has sort of their own dilemmas. American Icon, the
Hmm.
current one, there's two of them. The
Okay.
original, which is he's basically suing the company because he was one of the original nonprofit age heroes who
Uh-huh.
sort of stepped out when everything started to get corporatized, and he was like, I don't want anything to do with
Hmm.
this. He went back into construction, and then he wanted to
Hmm.
get back into it. Then he found out he needed a license to practice. The only license that he could get was from the company, which is a
Uh-huh.
sole company,
Uh-huh.
and Superhero Inc. And on top of that, they had trademarked his name and given it to another guy who's
And he's like,
completely the opposite of him.
yeah, as I said, yeah, Bob just said, it sounds like real life.
It's real
Hmm.
life, yeah. It's
Yeah.
real life superheroes, or adding real life to superheroes, every day. We in the
Right.
first issue we deal with the bill collectors. We have Meerkat and Big Brother, who go out and literally shake you down for the unpaid insurance bills.
I know a couple of collection agencies that would love that one right about now.
I'm sure.
Oh, oh
I'm
yeah,
sure. So,
oh yeah, oh yeah. Believe me, I ain't even get into that one. Oh,
so
but
it follows a lot of those different sort of type things, and there's going to be a
right.
lot of different topics that we're gonna touch on in the 12 issues. Um, and I just can't wait for everyone to sort of read and see what they have to say.
Right. Okay. Now, now with that, now here's another interesting question. So,